وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. So, I'm sorry about changing time of fiqh of marriage just this week, inshallah. And the Friday, or the 26th of December, will be off also. Will be no lesson. ما في الفرقان. Okay. That means the next lesson also will be on 25th, on Thursday, next Thursday, inshallah. And it will be maybe the last lesson of this series, inshallah. So last time we talked about divorce in Islam. We said there is a surah in Quran called Surah Al-Talaq. If a man wants to divorce his woman, Islam wants to make sure that that decision is a rational decision, not emotional, not hormonal decision. So that's why there is a time, specific time for a man to give that divorce. We said, number one, should the wife just finished her cycle month, she's pure, and then the husband doesn't consummate with her, no intimacy. That's the right time. Why? Just to make sure it's a rational decision. So, and we said that talaq in Islam, when the husband say the word, that's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of the whole process. So the word, you are divorced, doesn't mean she's divorced. That means she starts the process of divorce. Because after that, she will start what Quran called idda, the waiting period. We said also that if a man wants to give divorce, it's just one time. If he do it 3 times in the same moment, he is a sinful. We said if the man give a divorce to the woman in her cycle month, that's haram, and he is a sinful. So we explain all of this. Let me again quick recap. If a man wants to divorce his wife, so he will say the word. He should say it only once. If he said to her, you are divorced, now she will start the process. Now she will start what we call it idda, waiting period. Okay, she's still his wife. She will stay at home. Why? Because maybe he will regret and then he will change his decision again. Allah said, لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ يُحْدِثُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ أَمْرًا. Okay, suppose now he give divorce and she stay there at home. After 1 month, the husband decide to turn back his wife. And they talk to each other. I'm sorry, I was very angry. That's not a good decision. So they return back to each other. Now we count 1 talaq in his record. Suppose after a few years, after that, he also give the second divorce. When he gives the second divorce, what will happen? Will start idda, waiting period again. Okay, in that waiting period, shall she stay at home or go to her parents? Stay at home again. Okay, suppose after 2 months in that waiting period, he regret again and discuss with her, he apologize, then he return her. We count now 2 divorce. After a while, he gave her a divorce. It's for the 3rd time. What will happen here? That's now done. He can't return her anymore. Unless she finish her period and then get married with another man with consummation, and after that she can come back to him. So when he say 3rd time divorce, there's a waiting period, but she should go to her parents now. That's how the process is. Okay, what's this waiting period, iddah? It depends on the status of the woman. If the one is menstruant woman, it's 3 cycles. No menstruation means 3 months. If she's pregnant, until delivery. If they have marriage contract and no consummation, that means no iddah. So that's how the waiting period is. Okay, I explained that last time. Just recap. Today we say that in Surah Al-Talaq, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, فَإِذَا بَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ. If a man give divorce to his wife and she started her iddah, waiting period, and now waiting period about to finish, the man has 2 options. Either imsakun bima'ruf or tasrihun bi ihsan. Either return her back and regret and then carry on, or divorce her. Means when she finish her iddah, divorce now is done. But Allah said, أو تسريح بإحسان. When you do the divorce, do it with excellence. What does that mean? Now the iddah finish, the husband doesn't want to return his wife anymore. Now the husband has a responsibility here. What's that responsibility? To be gentle and do the process in the best way. Number 1, no insulting, no bad mouth, no insulting, no swearing, no exposing the secrets between them, no weaponize the children just with it, no cutting off the children from each other. Brothers and sisters, talaq in Islam is very simple. The problem is, when we come to the divorce, a lot of Muslims, they go with their norms and traditions, the social standards, not with the Quran. For the norms and traditions in the majority of Muslim country, talaq means the end of the life. That means the woman, when she get divorced, no one will marry her. The society look at her down. That's not from Islam. If you look at this history of Sahaba, the companions, it's very common. You'll find 2 couples and they get divorced, and after that the woman remarried again. Because talaq is very simple in Islam. 2 couples come to each other, they try to live with each other, and they recognize eventually that there's no compatibility. So they divorce, and every one of them go and try another chance. And when Allah talked about this, He said, وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَا يُغْنِ اللَّهُ كُلًّا مِّن سَعَتِهِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ وَاسِعًا حَكِيمًا. When they separate after talaq, Allah will give each one of them the best alternative. That's it, very simple. Anything else is just from the norms and traditions. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, Quran indicates this in Ayatul Talaq in Surah Al-Baqarah about norms. He said, وَمَنْ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا آيَاتِ اللَّهِ هُزُوًا. Take ayatullah seriously in talaq. وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ. Remind the ni'mah of Allah. وَمَا أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ يَعِظُكُمْ بِهِ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. Don't forget that Allah knows everything. Your traditions and norms, you think this is the best solution. No, Allah knows everything. And the ayah after that, وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah knows best. Sharia rules are the ultimate wisdom. So when we look at the divorce from this angle, life would be easy. Life would be very easy after that. So now this is now the iddah. Iddah finished. He said excellence. What's that excellence? Number 1, we said no insulting, no swearing, no anything criticize each other. Second, no exposing. What happened between the secrets? This is amana. This is one of the major sin, to expose what happened between you and your spouse. Keep it secret. Third, now they have co-parenting. They should try their best to provide a warm environment for their children. The warm environment. Also, there's what Quran called متاع. وَلِلْمُطَلَّقَاتِ مَتَاعٌ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ حَقًّا عَلَى الْمُتَّقِينَ. متاع means a gift. Can you imagine? The husband is recommended to give a gift to his divorced woman after divorce finish. That gift is just to send a message: we don't hate each other. We are not in a war. We just found that we are not compatible, so everyone will go in his way. That's it. So that's a gift. And that's recommended for the majority of scholars, and for Shafi'iyya it's obligatory. So look how Islam look at divorce from completely different angle. Then in Surah Al-Talaq, when he talked about this, he brought a topic about taqwa. Surah Al-Talaq is 12 verses. You'll find taqwa maybe 5 times. Taqwa, and this beautiful ayah that many Muslims they memorize, and maybe some of them they don't know, it's in Surah Al-Talaq. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. This is Surah Al-Talaq. Subhanallah. In Surah Al-Talaq also, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ يُسْرًا. In Surah Al-Talaq, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُعْظِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا. Why taqwa here? Because when that divorce happened and done now, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala send the first message to both spouses: fear Allah after divorce. Don't weaponize the children or try to cut off children from each other. Don't try to expose each other in every gathering. Talk about each other with fairness. Taqwa, Allah is watching you. Then he said, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ. Why rizq here? Because sometimes, some women specifically, when the divorce happened, they thought this is the end of the life. Allah said, no. When you fear Allah and be with Him, He will make a way out for you, and He will provide for you from when you can't imagine. So He give hope here to the divorced. You will get maybe the best husband. Maybe Allah will give you a husband better than that person. Maybe Allah will give you a stable home better than the previous one. Just be with Allah. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَّهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Why tawakkul here? Because sometimes some norms and traditions, the divorced woman, this is the end of life. And maybe the society treat her in a way not Islamically. Allah said, don't worry. Allah is with you. Even the most painful moment, a separation family, Allah is with you. Look at this hope, how Surah Al-Talaq. Okay, now the divorce happened. And he gave the gifts. No insulting, no revenge, no everything. Now we go to another stage and chapter in life, which is co-parenting. Subhanallah. Quran talk about not just divorce. Maybe there's a children. What will happen to these children then? Then He set some rules for children after divorce to protect them financially, psychologically, and spiritually. Number one, the husband is accountable, responsible for providing for his children till they become adults. That's the responsibility of the father in Islam. He should provide for his children after divorce till they become adults. In Madhab al-Malikiyya, even for the daughter till she get married. So that's the responsible, financial responsible. So he will send to his wife a money monthly. If there is disagreement, the Muslim judge will set the fair amount here. Look at the ability, capability of the husband and all of this. But monthly payment should go to his children. And then the children will live with her, with their mom. Because they need their mom, especially in very young age. Then what if the mother of that sister get married to someone else? Then the children will go to someone else. Because maybe this is not a warm environment for them with a new man. Usually they will go to the grandmother, either from father's side or mother's side. It depends to what's the best environment for them. There's a lot of details here in Hadana, custody, but all these details just depend to what's the best environment for children to grow up in safe environment, psychologically, spiritually, and financially. So Islam talk about all of this in details. That's how Islam look at the last thing before I receive your questions. Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah talk about another case study. What if the husband give divorce to his wife? She started her iddah, she finished her iddah, and he didn't return her back. She went to her parents, they are not couples anymore. After a while, they decide to return back. What they shall do here, guys? What do you think? أحسنت شاهين ما شاء الله أنت فقيه يا شاهين أحسنت. So Sheikh Shaheen said yes, if they want to return back that's fine, but this is a new nikah, a new marriage. The husband should provide a new mahar. Okay, Surah Al-Baqarah talk about this case study. In this case study Allah said وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فلا تعضلوهن أن ينكحن أزواجهن. Sometimes, because of norms and traditions, the father of that sister say, no, I would never agree with that. The sister wants to return back to her husband with a new marriage, a new mahar. But the father said, or her family, that will never happen. He humiliated you. He divorced you. How can you return back? Allah talk about this. Said, فَلَا تَعْضُلُهُنَ. Don't prevent them from coming back to their husband if they want. Because of traditions so strong here, look at the tone of ayah here. إذا ترى ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. This is a direct reminder for you if you believe in Allah and the hereafter. ذلكم أزكى لكم وأطهر. You'll find the barakah in the Islamic way, not in traditions and norms. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah knows and you don't know the consequences. Subhanallah. Just in that case study. So Islam talk about details. In Surah Al-Baqarah, they get divorced, divorce done. They co-parenting now. And the mother now breastfeed the child. The husband send the money. Allah talk about what's the best time to stop breastfeeding. Breastfeeding naturally is very recommended in Sharia. And it's very useful for the children. So Allah said, should be a meeting between the parents, the ex-husband, ex-wife. That meeting is about what? About what's the best time to stop breastfeeding. Can you imagine? فإن أرادا فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما. Subhanallah. So that just shows us that these details, and in the end, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala sent in Surah Al-Baqarah, in Ayat Al-Talaq and all of this, وَلَا تَنْسَوْا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. I said that maybe last time. That how you should deal with each other. Fadl, not adl or haq. Fadl means compromise. Fadl means try to sacrifice in your marriage. Try to compromise. Don't look just at what's my right, what's my responsibility, what's my right. No, that's only in the disagreement, in a conflict. But in a normal way, you should try your best, sacrifice, compromise. The problem with many young people nowadays, they look at marriage from the angle of rights and responsibilities, not from the angle of fadl, from the angle of do your best. That's why you find the questions, silly questions like, a sister came to me and said, is it obligatory in Sharia for me to make a cup of tea to my husband? If you start with this type of question, that means marriage definitely will corrupt it. You'll ask every time, okay. And the wife will say, okay, bring this, and he will go to Mufti and said, oh, this is now the list to go to Aldi. Is this Islamically I have to bring all of this? That's not the way we look at marriage. Marriage is love, peace, compromise, sacrifice. But if there is this agreement, yes, Sharia now will come with these details. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu ala abdi rasulillah. Yes, Umar.
Sheikh, you mentioned no, because before I think you said sometimes a wife.
Okay. A brother asked if the husband divorces his wife and the iddah finish, they're not couples anymore. Sometimes you said he can remarry her with a new mahar, a new marriage contract, and sometimes you say he can't marry her till she marries someone else. That's a good question. It depends to how many times he divorced her. If he divorced her just once or twice and the iddah finish, yes, they can come to each other with a new marriage, a new mahar. But if he gave divorce 3 times, there's no way here. She should marry someone else, and after that, that's the difference. Yes. If the husband divorced his wife for the first time or the second time, we said, Allah said, لا تخرجوهن, don't expel them from the house. The question is it obligatory for the woman to stay at home here? Okay, it depends on the situation. It's not obligatory, it's highly recommended. Depend to the situation means if when she stay, the problems will increase more and more. That's what called إِلَّا أَن يَأْتِينَ بِفَاحِشَةٍ. Then it's better for her to go to her parents. If she will stay, then that may be a chance for reconciliation, then definitely she should stay. What if he divorced her while she is in different country, for example? Is it obligatory for her to come back and sit with him? No, it's not obligatory. Maybe he intend with that one divorce, he doesn't want to for any reconciliation. So it depends on the situation. But the ayah here said, لا تخرجهن. Don't say, go to your hand. No, that's the nahi here. Don't expel them from the house. Yes. Sorry, yes.
Is there a reason that the scholars give, or we know as to why you have to, after the third talaq, you have to remarry and then come back. Is there a wisdom behind this? Or is it like a deterrent? What's the reason why?
Okay. Is there any reason or wisdom behind if the husband gave 3 divorced, it's haram for him to remarry his wife again until his wife get married to someone else and consummation, and after that they get divorced and then they come back. Number one, that's not scholars. That's Allah in the Quran, in very explicit ayah. فإن طلقها فلا تحل له من بعد حتى تنكح زوجا غيره فإن طلقها فلا جناح عليهما أن يتراجعا إن ظنا أن يقيما حدود الله. Look at the end of the ayah. وتلك حدود الله يبينها لقوم يعلمون. Very strong tone here. That's the boundaries of Allah. Allah knows and we don't know. So when you say what's the wisdom, we just try to understand the wisdom. There is no explicit wisdom. I would say, for example, many scholars said it's a lesson for a husband to show them that we gave you 3 chances and you play with this chance. Marriage is not a game. You should now understand the lesson very well. You have 3 chances and you don't take it. Yes. You mean, can a woman ask for divorce? Yes, we said that. We said last time. Are you here last time? We said that separation in Islam is 3 types. If the man wants to finish that relationship, that's a divorce. If the woman doesn't want to continue, Islam gave her a right. But we don't call it divorce, we call it khula'. That means if a man doesn't do anything wrong to her, is it good for her, but she doesn't want to continue because she feels that no compatibility at all. So she has a right to do a khula'. What's that khula'? Give him some of the mahar or full mahar and then the judge will divorce them. Yes, there's a way. The third way, when the man misuses his right and he insults his wife and he doesn't want to divorce her, she will go to a Muslim judge, and then the judge has the capability to divorce her without the permission of when he investigates. So in Islam, there's all these ways. There's no force for someone to stay with someone in Islam. Yes? Yes, Shaheen. Okay. In some tradition or norms or some rules in Muslim countries that the woman has a right to divorce the man. Okay. In Islam, Allah gives divorce for the man. But there is another type, can woman get rid of that relationship? The Sharia called khula'. Same idea. But for the woman just to have that divorce, that not Islamically, because men gave divorce because of their financial responsibility. Number one, and number two, because women, in the vast majority of them, they will have their cycle months. In their cycle months, maybe the hormones are upside down and they are not in the mood. Men will not go through this. So if they are not in the mood in that cycle month and they divorce their husbands many times, it should be a problem here. So he give the husband, because of financial matters, he should provide the accommodation, should provide the mahar, should provide the all provision. should provide for his children till they become adults. That's why he has. But if the woman doesn't want to continue, there's another way, which we call khula. Well, this is the first time I know you have this in your... Are you sure this is every contract?
No, it's like every marriage contract, like the legal contract. There is a clause.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, sure. They invariably cross it.
Okay.
Cross it, but the clause is there.
Okay. Let me review that then. Okay, yes.
Sheikh, if one divorce happens or twice, and the iddah is passed, and the woman is in her parents' house, and they don't come back, can the woman get married to someone else?
Yes, of course. Of course, yes.
After even one?
Yes, but the iddah finish. Absolutely. The question is if the man give divorce to his wife and she finished her iddah, the waiting period, and now they are not couples anymore, can she marry to another man? Absolutely, yes.
It doesn't have to be three.
No, just one. Just one, but she wants to get married to someone else. Is that right? Absolutely, that's how it is, yes. Salam. Okay. What happened for the children after divorce? The divorce is done. What happened to children? We say this co-parenting now. The father is responsible for providing financial matters, and the mother is responsible for upbringing. If whose has a right? Mother has a right, definitely. They will keep with mother, unless the mother get married with someone else. If that's the case, we'll take the children here and give it to her mother or the mother of the husband. Till what? That's now details now. Is it till 7 years old and then come back to the husband, to the father, as Shafi'i and Maliki? Sorry, Shafi'i and Hanbali. In Hanbali, in 7, go to father again. In Shafi'i, in 7, we'll give them choice. Do you want your father or your mother? In Hanafi and Maliki, no. They will keep with the grandmother and the father provide till they become adults. But all these details, it depends what's the best environment for the children. If you read in Kutub al-Fiqh, you're surprised the conditions of hadana. For example, if one of the parents has a disease that can affect the children, he's not allowed to keep them, because maybe this is not good for the children, for their health. If one of the parents are always drunk or something, then that is not capable for this hadana, for example. If some of the parents always travel all the time, that's not good for the stability of the children. Many conditions just to make sure what's the best place. But in general, yes, the mother is the one who has a right for that. And the father will provide financially. Yes?
Sometimes the parents get divorced, and maybe the father doesn't financially provide or look after the children. Once the child becomes old enough, what is the responsibility of the child? Should he keep in contact with his father even if he doesn't want to, or should the children?
Okay, if we said the financial matters to provide for the children after divorce is the responsibility of the father. What if the father didn't do this responsibility and he never provided to his children, and now the children became adults and the child doesn't want to contact with his father because of this? Or the other way around. Okay. In this case, we'll go to someone wise and try to sit with them. This type is not fiqh. It's just counseling. We talk to them and try to reconciliate, try to do something for that family. But it's just a message for any father. When you have a children, this is not a game. You are responsible for that children till they became adult financially. It depends to your status, financial status. Islam doesn't want to burden you, but don't think this is just a game. You go and marry, and you just have children, and you leave them. And you go and marry another one. It's not a game. And a message for a woman, don't cut off the children from their father. This is a major sin. And this will harm your children psychologically immensely. Don't think you just, or sometimes you go to civil court and try to have a verdict that the father can't see his children. This is one of the major sins. We are Muslims. Allah reminds us of Taqwa in Surah Al-Talaq. Allahu Alam. Yes?
You know, if a husband divorces his wife 3 times, they leave her 3 times, is it haram for him to do straight nikah, or is nikah not valid at all? So like she doesn't get married and divorce.
I don't understand.
Like let's say the man divorces his wife 3 times.
In different...
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she doesn't get married, she doesn't remarry. For them to marry, is that haram or is that...
Haram, definitely.
But is the nikah valid if they still do it?
No. And nikah valid, that's another issue. But it's definitely a major sin. No, they can't come back. لا تحل له من بعد. Very strong tone here. Yes, yes. Yes.
If she do khula, they can't marry again.
Good question. It's a very clever question. Very clever question. Yes, if that khul is complete and the other man, he agree with that, yes, that's a divorce. Yes, very clever. Just mention here about the khula. Some women in this country, the man didn't do anything wrong. Okay, and what they do, they left the home and they went to far city in Britain here, and they found a mosque there, and they issue a certificate of khula. That imam doesn't contact the husband at all, and suddenly they have a certificate. That's not the Islamic way. Anyway, yes. Hundred and? Okay. Allahu Akbar.
So he said, I want to give the mahar. When I went to the gold shop, there's a different prices.
Okay.
So he said, what shall I do? Shall I take the average?
Yes.
Because it's different.
Take the average. If it's 100 gold, the mahar, you don't know how price, take the average. Not the middle, not the, I mean, the lowest, not the highest, but the middle. Okay, ولن تستطيعوا أن تعدلوا بين النساء, and then that means in the heart. That means when you have more than one wife, you can't make fairness of them in your heart. But financially, you have to. To a place of this, you have to. Accommodation, you have to. But surah talk about something else. Talk about the heart.
His wife through the legal route, and the wife doesn't know about this at all, and then she receives a letter that this process has started. Does that count as?
Yes. If the husband divorced his wife in court, illegal, and she received the letter, yes, that's a divorce.
But she didn't know anything about it.
even she doesn't know. If the divorce came to her either through message, letter, and she sure that that letter is official letter, or if the divorce came here with WhatsApp message and she is sure, make sure that this is from him, from any means, talaq is done. Fuad. Yes, it's recommended to agree. If not, then the Muslim judge will interfere here. That became conflict here. Yes.
Sheikh, you know, for Khalad is a condition for the wife to give some of the mahar. So if she doesn't have it, she has to wait until she has the money and to give it back.
Is a condition to give anything, yes. It's just agreement. It depends on the agreement. Sometimes when she said that, the husband will say, you have the right to go. Yes. Omar? No sisters, no question from sisters today?
It's live on YouTube from sisters.
We didn't send them. Sorry, sisters. We apologize. Today about khul', that's your favorite topic. And we don't send you any link. I'm very sorry about that. I'm very sorry about that, sisters. Yes. Sisters, you can ask in the YouTube live. You still have a few minutes here, 10 minutes. Yeah.
If someone asked,
This is sisters?
yeah,
Okay, we have a question from sisters from YouTube live.
when the mother remarries after divorce, who decides which grandmother should take the care?
If the mother remarry after divorce, and now who decide for the child to go to his grandmother from this side or that side? Usually the Muslim judge. If there is agreement between the father and the mother, the parents, that will be amazing. If there is a conflict, then it's a Muslim judge. Yes. Salam.
If the divorce happened and the husband he left the house, so after the divorce, is he allowed to go inside the house to see his kids?
If the divorce done, is it allowed for the husband to come to the house to see his children? Yes, absolutely. That's his right. They should have agreement with certain days, certain. Yes. No. The children is there. The children are there. They should set some boundaries of, if the divorce happened, they should have agreement that the father will come occasionally in certain times. In that certain times, then the sister will have her hijab. If it's just very small children, then they should bring someone else. If the children are, there's no need for that. Yeah. But no khalwa, definitely, yes.
I know the parents-in-law become your mahram. Do they remain your mahram after divorce?
Yes. Is your parents-in-law after divorce, they remain mahram? Yes, they remain mahram till the death. Yes.
After divorce, if the children are living with the mother, can they also live part-time with the father so they can still build a relationship?
A question from sister: if after divorce the children live with their mother, can they sometimes live with their father? Absolutely, yes. It's just all about agreements. It's all about agreements. If they agree about anything, they can go for it. If there is conflict, then we see now. Well, look, if the father is get married with someone else, then we check about the warm environment here. But agreement is always there. Yes, they still parents for the children. That's what we called co-parents. Yes. Salam. You just came. I didn't see you before. Yeah. That's where the khilaf between the fuqaha in quru. Is it from the end of the 3 cycle month or from the beginning? Yeah. خلاف بين الشافعي والمالكي والحنابلة والشافعي. But it's just few days. Just few days, not a big khilaf. Just few days. Is it quru means this or that? Pure or impurity? Umar, is there anything?
Can a mother limit the amount of times a father can see the child?
A question from sisters: can a mother limit the time for the father to see his children? Again, guys, we're still in that area with norms and traditions. Allah said, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. Taqwa means fear Allah. Don't prevent the brother to see his children. That's not good for your children. It's better for them to keep a best relationship with their father. My daughter, my sister, it's best for you to talk when you talk about your ex-husband, to talk out of fairness and justice. That's better for your children. Otherwise, you will just increase the trauma in them. So don't ask the type of questions to limit the time to. It's not a war. They are your children. You divorce each other, but you don't divorce the children. The children still need mom and dad. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala guide us to the straight path. Yes, Muzammil.
In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah talks about talaq in various verses, and then straight after it, he talks about, he says very strictly to establish the prayer, and I think he talks about Surah Al-Khawf. They're two different topics next to each other. Is there any hikmah behind it?
Okay, this is not in our topic. Come to Surah Al-Baqarah next week, to the intensive workshop. I don't think this is related to this, but it's a bridge. حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. This is a bridge for the previous topic, talaq and all these things. That salah is the most important. When you maintain your salah, that will help you to deal with the conflict. And it's a bridge for the coming topic, Talut wa Jalut. So it's a bridge between them. Yes. So. Okay. Separate or divorce? Divorce or not? Separate, okay. If the husband and wife separated for many years and they lost contact, okay, that's the best solution here is for the woman to go to a Muslim judge. There's some opinions here. I don't want you to confuse you with this opinion. But to go to the Muslim judge in that country, and he will investigate. And then he will give her either the divorce. Judge has authority to do that. Same thing. There's a lot of Muslim counseling here. Muslim counseling here is just like a judge, Muslim judge. Yes, because they will investigate first. They'll do a lot of research. They'll do a lot of investigation. After that, they will give their verdict. Yeah. Okay. First of all, bring that imam to the lesson here. That's the first solution. Second is, yes, they go to a scholar and ask him about this. They can come to each other with a new marriage. Yes. Sorry? Man? Not pay mahar, okay. Definitely, this is sinful. If a man doesn't pay the mahar after divorce, this is definitely a sin. It's just like he take a property of someone else unjustly, wrongly. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. He took his property of someone else with no any right. It's a big problem, big problem. Yes.
After 3 talaq, when the woman gets remarried, there be intimacy between the two.
Yes. With the four madhahib, intimacy is obligatory. Yes.
You said that legislate how things
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good question. What if you said the sister should not prevent her ex-husband to see his children? What if the reason of that preventing because he is aggressive, he's abusive? In that case, we should be very careful here. She should go to another Muslim judge, a Muslim counseling, and they will do something that should be someone with the father every time he sees his. They should also investigate his mental health, all of these things, because the whole idea here is to protect children psychologically, spiritually, financially. So if he can harm the children, this is a problem. Or he always drunk, for example. So the main idea is to protect the children. Yes? No. Financial, this is obligatory for the man. And the judge will take from his salary every single month. Zawaj is not a game. If you have a children, that's your responsibility till they became adults, Islamically. Okay. Yes, last question, yeah. Yeah. So next inshallah Thursday, we have our maybe last session from this fiqh of marriage. I want to finish this long time ago. Every time, please expand this fiqh of marriage. So this is the time for you to get married. As we explain everything, it's in your turn now. Bismillah, just get married. If anyone struggles, send me your CV marriage. Or talk to me after the lesson, inshallah. I will help you. I'll try to help you. Okay, is there any series after this? Yes. There's always be series, inshallah ta'ala. If Allah give us. Okay, from my experience, the people who get divorced, is it usually they remarried again? It's very rare for many Muslim countries. In my country, Mauritania, is very easy. Maybe one of the rare countries in the world that the divorced man or woman, they get married easily after that. It's not a big deal in my country. So they will remarry her again, no problem with that. But experience, yes, because divorce in many Muslim countries, they just rely on norms and traditions, not in the Quran. That way there's a lot of crazy stuff here. Divorce is very normal. The only thing we see in this series, if the divorce is the first decision, that's not good Islamically. You should reconciliate, you try your best, arbitrate it. But if the divorce is the last decision, that's very normal and could be the best decision you take. And Allah will give each one good alternative. That's it. No hatred, no war, no revenge, no insulting, no gossip, no anything. Just we came to each other. We could not be spouses. So, but in the day of judgment, Allah will ask us, do we behave as a co-parenting good way? Do we behave as a separate? That's it. الله أعلم. صلى الله على عبده ورسوله سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين.